Hi guys, Julie the Oracle here. So today I'm going to do a reading on what do the angels need you to know. Okay, let me get settled in here. So I'm using the Angel Tarot cards. It's a beautiful deck. It's one of the first tarot decks that I actually bought for myself that wasn't gifted to me. I absolutely love it. I've got a piece of selenite here. It's good for communication with angels or ETs, if you're into crystals. But what do the angels need you to know? So, please take what resonates and leave the rest. There's a lot of people watching you. This is a timeless reading, so people are going to come and go, and certain messages are going to resonate with you and some aren't. So, take what resonates, leave the rest. I can't say it enough. A lot of different views and situations going on out there, so I hope that it's helpful to you. So the first thing I have, and I'm going to show you because I tried to adjust the light. These are very glossy cards, so they tend to reflect, and you can't see the artwork in them as beautifully. So I'm just going to hold it up. So the first one we have is number 13. It's release. It's Archangel Azrael. This is very important to me because, I actually did a really good reading with a channeler a couple of months ago, and I've always been drawn to death myself. I've been drawn to death for as long as I can remember. I'm a ghost hunter. I've dreamed about spirits. I've dreamed about watching people die. It sounds scary, but for me, it was almost like I was watching, and I felt sad about it, but it was kind of like, but it has to happen. It was weird. I also was watching them from high up, but I wasn't falling or anything. So it was the weirdest thing. And as it turns out, supposedly, with the way the reading went, and I resonate with this. So I do believe that I was an angel in a past life. You'd be surprised at how many people are. Now, once you incarnate as a human on Earth, you're considered an Earth angel. So that's what I am. But in the beginning, I worked with Azrael. And that's why there are parts of me that you bring forth those aspects through your lives. And that is why I am so into the metaphysical and the paranormal. It's kind of a part of why I can do mediumship and things like that. But it's something I'm still working on honing those skills for sure. Helping cross people over is what I used to do. But I've also been a guardian angel for some of my past life connections. And so I was with them, keeping them safe for a long time, up until it was their time to go. But I say that because this is the death card. So 13 in the tarot is death. They call it release here because death doesn't always mean death. It says the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. That's exactly what it means. So let me just put that down. So for those of you watching, what do your angels need you to know? They need you to know that you are going through a spiritual transformation. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in fate and destiny. You still have free will within your life, but you're still fated to do certain things and be with certain people. I do believe that's how it works. But in this case, I want to say that it is not a coincidence that you found yourself here watching this video. If you stumbled across this because you're having experiences now, if you're experiencing signs and synchronicities or angel numbers, and you're getting messages, your clairs are lighting up, like clairvoyancy, clairaudience, clairsentience, those kind of things. If you are having dreams, or you're just getting really strong gut feelings, on your intuition is just really like revving up, there's a reason why. You may be experiencing a spiritual transformation, so that's why it's here. It may be the death of what you know to be limited beliefs. That's what we call it. Those are the fact that you grew up going, I'm a human, science is fact, and none of this metaphysical, paranormal, spiritual stuff exists. So the truth is, it does. I will say I'm going to differentiate between like religion here, because religion tells us it's a certain way, but I don't believe it to be that way either. You can believe what you want, and that's fine. by all means, I want everybody to believe. There's a lot of different things that are out there, a lot of different religions and cultures and different things, and I think it's great. But I know that some religions are so strict that you have to believe a certain way. And, you know, when you believe a certain way, it just really limits you on what's truly out there. You're closing yourself off. It's like, have an open mind, because there is so much more than we realize. And I want to say, at one time, I wouldn't have believed it either, but until those experiences start happening to you, you don't really know. So that spiritual transformation, if I can get it out, when it hits you, it's amazing. How to get water. Apparently ice. But that spiritual transformation is very, very important. We also can call it a spiritual awakening. Some people have their spiritual awakenings late in life, some of it early in life. And sometimes like I grew up always knowing that there was something else, but I never realized that other people didn't. I was like, why am I so sensitive to all the things I'm seeing and hearing and feeling? It was terrifying as a kid at times. So, but I've grown a lot since then, and I've embraced it. I've leaned into it. I don't feel afraid anymore. I'm divinely protected. I'm very confident in it, and there's still so much more to learn, though. I don't know everything, and I don't claim to. I'm always willing to grow and learn, because your beliefs can evolve and change as well. So that is something I believe in as well. And spiritual transformation is the real deal. So if you're here with a spiritual transformation, welcome to the club. We welcome you with open arms. Find a spiritual community and start learning. Start sharing those experiences and realizing you're not alone. A lot of people will resonate with you right now. But so the angels want you to know that you're going through a spiritual transformation. That's what I'm getting from this card. But I can't leave everybody out. I can't assume that everybody watching right now is going through a spiritual transformation. Some of you showed up because you need to know something, and the angels are telling you that yes, it's time to move on from the end of a phase or a situation. The death card can be an end of a phase too. It's a death and renewal. So it's almost like the world card again. And so world card can be cycles. Well, this is the end of one situation, but it can be a renewal for another situation. So again, we're going through cycles. If you are doing that, that just means you're starting a new phase. And so if something feels like it's come to an end, it has. I hope that it's nothing big, but like if you've lost a job and you're reconsidering your career in your life, or, you know, you've ended a relationship, that's something that if it hasn't happened yet, it's probably going to. You know, we're not supposed to be like, oh yeah, we can't talk about divorce and debt and the 4 Ds we call it, disease and danger. But you know what? If it needs to be said, it needs to be said. I want to put rose-colored glasses on for all of you because that's how I was taught. And I love being positive, don't get me wrong. But I also want to be real with you that yes, we're going to look at it in a positive light, but I don't want you to come back and be like, oh, all this crap happened to me and nothing of it was positive. So I'm going to say, like, no, it's not always going to be positive, but you learn from the positive, you learn from the negative as well. I just did the last reading talking about, you know, life lessons. Some of you have a soul mission, but you know, I couldn't tell you what that is right now. You'd have to go get a reading on that because I'm not dealing with that just yet. I wish I could tell you, but I'm not that far in my journey yet. I'm still, you know, you guys are coming with me on my journey as I talk about tarot and I start picking up on stuff. So grow and learn with me. But yes, number 13, death card, release. So if it's not a spiritual transformation for you, it's the end of a situation. It's time for you to move forward. With that being said, that's what the angels want you to know. It's time to move on with your life. So you need to find a way to find your closure and move on from whatever this situation is. And you know, there's better opportunities. There's better things ahead, essentially. So take the lesson that you will from it and move forward. And that's just the first card. And that appears to be our only major arcana here. So that's good. And that means like this is like a major thing that's going to happen. And then The rest after this, it appears like things are going to kind of smooth out a little bit. I think things can only get better, though, from at least what I'm looking at in the cards. So what the angels want you to know with the Seven of Water. Essentially, these two cards, I think they fell out upside down, if I remember right. I write them so that you can see them clearly on here, but the Seven of Water states a complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. But it's the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups can be about your daydreaming. It can be about having a lot of options and choices, and people, you can be confused about, I don't know what to pick, what decision to make. So yeah, you're having to make a big decision. And I don't know if you noticed, but it's funny how the colors of the little, I'm going to pick this up because you can see it. It's a beautiful card. But it's very dark because it's underwater and you can see the light coming down, and I think there's a dolphin back here. And these cups are under the water, and they're gold, but they're very dark. They're in the deepest depth of the water. But I really love that they have these colors in them. These are the colors of the chakra because there's 7 of them. This is something I picked up on this card when I was training on them a long time ago. And I love it. The first and foremost out front is it looks like the orange, so sacral. That's a lot to do with like your desires, pleasure, creativity. It's sexual in nature. There's a part of you there that just has a lot of passion. So you're very passionate about certain things, and I don't know if this is your hobbies or you're passionate about your job, you're passionate about your relationship, whatever it is. It may be something to focus on. Because the next one is, it looks like purple because I see the red back here. You have these 3 main ones back here. These 3 back here are pretty important too because red is grounding. It's your root chakra. And then the yellow is your solar plexus. That's where you get that gut instinct / intuition from. And the green is your heart chakra. And that's from your heart space, a lot of emotional energy and stuff coming from there. So those are we hear about those the most often, I would say. This purple one, this is your ajna, your third eye, however you call it. But your third eye is where you get a lot of clairvoyancy and you see a lot of images, or it's like little mini movies playing in your head or things like that. Or sometimes you can get words, numbers, things like that. You just see flashes of information, and this is telling you things intuitively. So you may pay attention to that too. So pay attention to those chakras because you might be using them a lot more. You're going to do something very artistic, creative, very passionate about whatever this is. It's going to do something that makes you very, very happy, and it gives you a lot of pleasure. And then the third eye, that's going to be very helpful with your intuition and trusting it. And you may see things or know things, and that's going to help you move forward in your life. If you see I just had a job interview, you see yourself working there, you're going to be like, oh, this job is for me. I'm trying to come up with examples for you, but I don't know what you're going to see ultimately, but you may see a vision of your future partner or something of that nature. Been there, done that. So that could help you. You meet somebody and you suddenly see yourself with them down the road. You're like, whoa, this is going to be a relationship. Again, example, but it's a good one. So your angels are telling you, if you have a complex decision to make, it says, it may not be complex. It could just be you're choosing, you want to move somewhere, but you're like, where do I move to? Do I move out of state? Do I stay in the state? Do I, am I just moving from one house to another, apartment to a house? I want to buy a house. Or maybe you're making a decision on, do I want to stay in this relationship or do I want to leave? It's not fulfilling me because I'm in love with someone else, or, you shouldn't be in that relationship in the first place, though. I'm going to tell you. That's my opinion, though. My opinion is, if you really love someone, you should be with that person. Unless it's absolutely, never going to happen for whatever reason. But, I don't know. If you're supposed to be with someone else and you run away and jump into a false relationship where you're not very invested and it's superficial and you're just going to try to force it to happen because you're going to settle, don't do that. I don't know where that came from, but, yeah, don't do that. I just think you shouldn't be. But if it's something where maybe things aren't working out and, you find yourself fighting, you have to decide whether you want to stay in this relationship or stay in this job or stay in the state. I don't know what decisions. You might just be deciding what to have for lunch, for all I know. Make a decision. It's funny because the whole thing of making a decision came out in the last reading too. So I feel like I'm some of the subscribers that are constantly watching, like, make a decision. So if you're wanting to move somewhere, like, decide already and then make a plan and strategize for it. It says the need to do research too. So before you make any huge life decision, do your research, or if you need to go within and think about things and figure out what you feel, you need to feel like, just figure out how you're feeling inside, and is this really what you want to do? And if it is and you're certain about it, once you're certain, make the decision and then don't look back. For some of you though, this is usually a dreamy state and the light's filtering in and it's got these beautiful, glowing chakra colors in it. Usually the cups are filled with different things. Like, some of it could be material things, some of it can be like dreaming of love, or, making a decision on a career or something of that matter. You want money or something like that. But it can be a mixture of like the heart's desires, and sometimes some of you may be having dreams. And it's funny, I mentioned dreams, but you could be having dreams and they could be very emotional. They could be very vivid. Lots of very vivid, rich colors. You might be able to feel the temperature. You may be able to feel, you get feelings for things. You may not even have to, like, you can have this telepathic knowing, like communicating with people without even opening your mouth in the dream. Because sometimes I have a dream like that myself, and I'll just get an inkling of something. And I call it an inkling. You can say spidey sense, whatever you want to say. But you just know. You don't see it, but you just know. And you don't hear it. Again, you just know. It's like a claircognizance comes so easily in the dreams. It's wild. So you may be having really vivid dreams and you just know things. You have a sense of I'm standing near, the ocean right now. Or like I got the sense in one of my dreams, like the ocean was nearby. I couldn't see it, but it's almost like I could hear it. Like I just felt like, wow, I'm on a beach. But I was only able to see a small glimpse of the area, and I wasn't able to see really much of the skyline, and I wasn't able to see, but I sensed that the ocean was there. So I thought, something is happening on this beach. I got more of an intuitive, emotional feeling from it, which water is emotion. So when I had my dream, there was a lot of emotion involved, and without even knowing, I knew exactly what caused the emotion. I knew that it had been a not so happy situation had occurred. And I don't really want to get into the details of it, but definitely something big had occurred and it caused pain, and it caused someone to be sad. So it was just kind of like, oh, okay. There's a lot of emotions that run in there, and like I didn't get to see the situation unfold. I just knew. So some of you are having dreams like this, so it's very intense for you. Enjoy it though, because I don't have dreams as much like that, but I think someday they'll come back in full force. But right now it's kind of scattered. I'm going through a spiritual upgrade, so, and it's funny, when I got called to do this reading, and I was supposed to use this deck with the angels and add angel cards into it and all this stuff, and definitely my ear started ringing. My right ear was like really ringing, and I was like, oh, thanks, they're giving me a download. They're telling me what to tell you guys right now. I have to get water again. Whew. So, yeah, stop procrastinating. So if whatever decision you have to make, or if you need to do research before you make a big decision, go ahead and do it. Just make sure you make that decision. And once you decide, you may need to decide and then do the research, but if you're daydreaming, or some of you may need to do some, you may need to clear your chakras and do some like chakra work, something like that. You could even get chakra tarot readings if you want. But there's definitely something here with the chakras that's standing out to me. But some of this is very emotional. Some of you are very deep in your emotions, and it has a lot to do with this decision you're trying to make. So go ahead and decide. No need to procrastinate. Like, go ahead and do it. Like Nike says, just do it. But you've got to make a decision at some point. Like daydreaming and fantasizing about it, like that's great. But at some point you have to decide if you're going to go for this or not. And it was kind of, and this card was originally in reverse, but I would say for the people that it might be reverse for, is maybe you've already made the decision and you're full speed ahead, so it's a matter of maybe you need to slow down. So if this card were reversed, I would say that you have no problem making the decisions, but maybe you're being too rash. So when this card is in the reverse, I'm going to say that, yeah, you might be too decisive, but you might be too impulsive about it, too rash in what you do, the things you do and say, or the decisions you make. You might be rushing into a situation that you really should slow down with, because it could cause problems in the long run. And I don't know if I said relationship a minute ago. Did I say that? Because it was the first thing that popped in my head just now. Like, if you're rushing into a relationship, oh, please slow down. Slow down. You do not want to rush into a relationship. Never. You're so quick to do that. You really got to give yourself time to really get to know people, because even if you've only known them in person for a short time, you don't always see people's true colors until a couple of months in, until they annoy you. And either you're going to work through it, or it's going to end up like, oh gosh, I can't live with this person. So if you're rushing into a relationship with this person, like, don't be too needy, clingy, whatever, because that's going to be annoying to them. You're not going to get the independence you want, or vice versa. If you're, like, don't be rash to move or anything. Like, make sure you do your research. If you're going to move or change jobs, like, pick something that you know is going to offer you the best opportunity, benefits and good pay, and it's going to have a good work environment, good work-life balance for the job, but also, the same goes, like, relationships, job, or if you're just trying to move or make a decision on, like, maybe you want to remodel your house. Don't paint it that color. Whoever's thinking of that, don't do it. I don't know where they came from, but I guess I do. I'm getting some kind of message here about someone's trying to paint it a color that nobody would like. Just remember, some colors dry darker or dry lighter than you think. Drying lighter is one thing, but if it goes too dark, then you have a dark house. Don't paint it that. Don't paint it an ugly dark. I'm seeing like a really, like, it's almost like a duck poop green. I don't want to say that, but it's like a dark green, like a hunter green. That's really dark. Now, if you want to do that on one wall and then do the rest in a lighter color, that used to be, like, that could be a feature wall. I don't know if it's a bedroom that you're doing, but don't paint the whole thing that color, because it might look more expansive, but it'll be so dark in there. It'll be hard to make it look light and bright. And I don't know about you, but unless you're Dracula, I don't want a dark house. If you're trying to set the mood, like, yeah, green is a calming color, but I would recommend a different shade if you're going to do it. I'm just saying, like, if it's this dark, it's going to be it's darker than this. What I'm seeing is going to dry darker than this color. Darker than this green in this card. So don't do it. Don't do it. I would go a couple of shades lighter. But you know already to paint the swatches, like, paint a portion of the wall, let it dry, like, a little bit. Like, do one brush stroke and see how it dries and what color it looks, and then compare. Go from there. But if you were going to do a really dark color, you want to do it on a feature wall. You want that wall to particularly be dark. Like the wall that the TV's going to go up on, because you're going to be watching TV and you don't need anything white and bright behind it. That's fine too. You could do that, and then you could do lighter shade around it, and it would really make that wall, it'll probably make it look more expansive. I don't know if I said that right, but that was a big thing on, like, the Trading Spaces show and stuff. They used to paint the wall behind the bed like a different wallpaper color, or they would do a dark color and then they would do lighter around it or something like that. I don't know if it was in Trading Space. It was a lot of the shows. It was a trend for a while, but I don't know that they're doing that anymore. Seems like everybody's going like a gray color and then just doing pops of color in with neutrals and things like that. So, but what do I know? I like to think of myself as an artist, but like visual artist, and when I see stuff, like, some things appeal to me that don't appeal to others. But I love vibrant colors, but I don't think I would do the whole thing in it. I don't want to come in and, like, get dizzy in a kaleidoscope house. So I think that a little pop of color here and there is just right. But I don't know, somebody was thinking of painting. They'll find this video and they're going to laugh when they hear me say that. So whatever that decision is, yeah, it can be a small decision too, but So whatever you're doing, don't be too impulsive and don't rush into it, but make sure you take the time. But don't take too much. Don't procrastinate on it, because some of its timing is of the essence. With the third card, we have Queen of Air. It says independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. And underneath, it says objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. Love it. The Queen of Air is like the Queen of Swords. This is somebody who's she knows what she wants, and she's wanting to manifest that, but she's also very direct in her communication. She has no trouble being blunt, but she's honest at least. With the Queen of Air, this is what your angels are telling you with this. And these messages could be all for the same person or the same people, or they could be mixed messages for different people. Just want to clarify that. Because you're like, well, we just talked about decision making, and now you're saying, do this. It's like, no. Like I said, some of it's for you. All of it may be for you. You take whatever resonates. But for some of you are pretty psychic. I can see that right now. She's holding like this crystal ball, and it's almost floating in her hand. Like, she's got a lot of power and magic. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. She's got the power to manifest. I think it's really cool. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's a guy with a sword in there. Like, I'm loving her headdress, and she's almost like an elf or something. And she's manifesting this unicorn with a glowing horn. Wow. Okay, I have to show you this. Sorry. I'm looking at it and like, they can't see it. That's the one that's shiny. But if you can't see it, you can see it now. It's this beautiful dark blue around the edge, almost a navy color. But for some of you, you guys are very in your head about a decision possibly. But you know what you want. So you're actually taking the time to be logical and rational about it, and to think about, like, what do I want? How is this decision going to affect me? How will it affect my life and other people in my life, And so we're coming into, this is, some of you are making this decision, or you've made this decision, and now you're manifesting what you want from this decision. So that's what I really like. And it's funny because this applies to the first two cards. It's not just about those of you making a decision, but those of you going through that spiritual transformation, or you're the ones ending a phase. If you're ending a situation and you're moving on from the Death card, this is saying to clear away all that no longer serves you. Well, everything that's now done and over with, shut the door on that. Sweep it out and shut the door and move on. And when you move on, and seeing the humor in the situation is a good thing too, because you at least could go, man, well, that didn't work out, and you might feel bad about things not working out in your favor for those of you that ended a situation or had one end on you. So if it didn't work out, whatever it was, try to find the humor in it. That's kind of the same as saying, like, find that silver lining. You had a bad day or a bad phase, but now it's ending, and now good things are coming in. And this has really described some of you. Some of you are very witty and independent, and you have a lot of experience, and you're just realistic in the way you think and do things. So you make your decisions, but you stay realistic. You don't have your head in the clouds like some of the people with the Seven of Water. Some of those people trying to make that decision love to daydream. And I'm guilty of it too, because my head's in the clouds all the time. I love to daydream and think about things. So whatever it is, yeah. Like I said, sweep out what doesn't serve you anymore. Sweep it out the door frame, and then shut the door. And lock it. And then move on. Because you don't need whoever that was. Whatever that situation was is done and over. You've taken the lesson from it, and now you're moving forward. But I definitely see that some of you, in this card, there's a lot of you watching that are very psychic. And she's got the crystal ball. Like, you're manifesting. You're seeing, some of you may be seeing visions, and this may go back to me talking about that chakra, the third eye chakra. And that you can see, she's seeing sights. Her third eye is covered by her headband right now. Like, it's pointing right to the spot. Literally right there. So she may be seeing. I mean, she can see with vision, literally see, realistically see, but she is spiritually seeing right now, and she's seeing things in the crystal ball. So you may be seeing bits and pieces. It could be past lives, it could be things happening in the present, but it could also be you're seeing glimpses of the future. And this is your future. You could be seeing what you're meant to do, like who you're going to come in contact with, or where you're going to live, or what jobs you're going to have, or you may be meant to do something special in the near future, and you're being guided to pay attention to what you're seeing. So your angels need you to know, they need you to pay attention to the signs and synchronicities that you're getting, and pay attention to what you're seeing and hearing spiritually. If you're getting a knowing about things and your intuition is kind of like you feel it waking up, like pay attention to it. Pay attention to your dreams as well. And now we have the Five of Fire. This is competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. So some of you are bothered. You might be bothered by a work situation, a relationship with friends, family, or romantic. You know, I cover all my bases. But I'm trying to get more specific as things start to come off the card for me. But the Five of Fire, this is the Five of Wands. It's usually a conflict card, having conflict with other people. It doesn't have to be. And some of this, and I see the colors up here, you've only got 5 of the chakras here. You know, I kind of look at it as that sometimes, but I think they might just be trying to be colorful here too. But sometimes I pay attention to what I see because, once again, that sacral chakra color is right out front. So it's going to be very, very important for you to pay attention to what you're passionate about. And stay grounded with the one that's the third one. The second one behind it is not quite green. It's a little bit more blue than green, but I think that this is your throat chakra. Because the green one's over here. So I'm thinking you need to make sure you speak up about what you're passionate about. You need to stay grounded in it. And then pay attention to that third eye, like I said. And then pay attention to what your heart tells you, because your heart, that's like your emotional center here. You need to pay attention to what you're not only thinking, but what you're feeling as well. Because your emotions could play a part. Being clairsentient is about feeling. And sometimes you can pick up on other people's emotions. You could be empathic. There's a lot of empaths out there. It's thrown around a lot, that word, but those of us that are empaths, we tend to soak up other people's feelings. We can't even go to the grocery store without soaking up other people's feelings. Like big crowds, we don't like big crowds because you end up, there's so much thoughts and feelings and things floating around in there. And it's a lot. It can be overwhelming for us, overstimulating. So pay attention to that. And that could be part of the conflict with others right there, because if you are starting to have a spiritual awakening, like your angels were saying in the last card, and you know, the spiritual transformation may be part of that. Your angels are telling you, like, yeah, your spiritual transformation might be about upgrading you. Like, I'm being upgraded now. So they may be telling you that, hey, we're upgrading you too. We're waking you up, and we're waking up all your clairs, and you're having dreams, and you're picking up on people's feelings now and their thoughts. You might have telepathic thoughts. You can pick up on other people's thoughts at the grocery store like I do. I don't like, some people have pervy thoughts. I'm just going to tell you right now. I picked up on things like, oh, that's not good. Dude, don't think about that lady like that. But yeah, you can pick up on that stuff pretty easily. It's really pretty, it's amazing to me that more and more people I'm finding are having these different abilities. And so I think this could be like all of your abilities. Your abilities are starting to come out. Staying grounded is going to be the number one. You want to keep your feet on the ground, you know, stay grounded, stay protected in that way. I don't usually worry about it, but if you feel like it's too overwhelming, you can put yourself, like, imagine yourself in a bubble. And you can put whatever color you want. If you feel whatever color is protective of you or to stay grounded, you could put a red bubble around you, like a clear red kind of thing. But you can do whatever color you want. You know, white's a good protection. I use rose gold because I love the color, but if I need it. Once you get to a point where you're like comfortable in your spiritual journey, you're like, oh, I don't need it. You know, you kind of expect these things to happen, and you don't tend to get as overwhelmed because you start to understand it. You know how to control it better, and you know how to deal with things, and you just take it as it comes. But some people feel the need to have protection Black is a really good protection color, but I don't know if I want to put myself in a black bubble. But you can do silver, you can do gold, you can do whatever color you want. And it can be like the see-through, because I don't know if I could put myself in a bubble where I can't see. I don't know if I like that. So, but this could be the conflict that you have. You're conflicted because of, you know, and if this has anything to do with those of you making a decision or the spiritual transformation, you're changing spiritually. And this is going to make the way you feel about other people change. And the same goes for, they're going to feel different about you. Because if you start coming out talking about all these abilities, some people don't believe in that. And it could change some of your friendships or relationships dynamic with your family. You're not always going to be supported. I'm sorry. But find your spiritual community and get your support. Because there is nothing wrong with you being you at all. There is nothing wrong with that, and I can't say, but you may end up having relationships fade away, or relationships fade away. You know, you got to find the person that just accepts you for you. Your real friendships and family and relationships, if they accept you, they're not going anywhere. You're fine. They're going to be like, that's so cool. Do a reading for me. That's kind of, you know, I get that sometimes. And then you end up finding your soul family, your tribe, whatever you want to call it. And it's great. Met a lot of great friends that way, and like, oh, how we know each other. Like, we probably had past lives together. It's really cool once you really get into it, and then you start helping each other and you grow. I love it. But that's the 5 of Wands or 5 of Fire here. I see that that's the conflict, but I see that fire is very creative too, and I feel like your abilities, spiritual abilities, are starting to come forth. And this is only going to get better, because now we have the 4 of Fire. This is the 4 of Wands. It's contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. So, hey, if you're doing stuff at work, whatever decision that you're trying to make, that decision, if you're making a decision, whatever it is, whether it's a relationship or career, it's going to be a good one, because the 4 of Fire, the 4 of Wands, it can be a marriage card. Just saying, for those of you that might be with somebody, this could be your, I feel like this could be telling you could be marrying somebody. But I think for the people with careers and stuff, like, yeah, you're going to be getting these projects and stuff, and this is where you're having to make decisions on how to run this project, and you may have to run people below you, like employees. You may have to supervise or manage, and you're going to do a great job with that, because the 4 of Wands is also about stability. So this is stabilizing for you. And you see that there's almost like a moon, almost like 2 moons in the back. It's hard to say. And this dragon all wrapped in yellow, that's your intuition. And so your intuition is taking you to a place of stability. It's just going to take time, because right now you're going through, some of you are doing this spiritual transformation. Some of you are moving out of a rough situation. It's done. Once you move on, you're moving into a period of stability that's going to be great for you, where you're trusting your instincts, and there's nowhere to go but up from here. You're going to make a lot of progress, and you're going to be happy and content. A lot of abundance coming your way. Relationship-wise, that's a great sign. And being direct and honest with people is going to put you in a place where, like, oh, they're really honest. Like, I don't like what they said, but I respect them for being honest with me, for saying it. So, I mean, all of this stuff about speaking your mind and all of this spiritual abilities is going to lead you to a place of trusting your intuition, and it's going to bring you a lot of abundance and a lot of peace. That stability is a good thing, guys. A very good thing. There's a lot of magic happening here, so go with the flow with it and enjoy it. And again, we have grounding in the forefront with the red, and then we have that third eye again. So pay attention to what you're seeing in your mind's eye, because that's going to help you. That could help you make some of these decisions and set you on the right path. Okay, so and there's a 4 here. We got 2 4s. So if somebody likes 4s, or if you have a 4 life path number, I don't know what it is, but it's for you. 4 4. You know, we have a 5 and a 7 here. And there's also a 13. 13 is one of my little lucky numbers, so I like it. And if you reduce 13, it equals to 4, so you'd have like 444. There's an angel number. Look it up. So we have the 4 of Earth as the last one. 4 of Earth is great too. The 4 of Pentacles. It just depends. It says being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. For me, the Four of Pentacles it can be selfishness. If you're holding on to something, like those of you that just came out of the end of a situation, this again is just a reminder. Your angels are reminding you with these cards to trust your intuition. And no, they're telling you you're going to come to a stable place here, but they're also reminding you here in the Four of Earth to let go. You know, whatever that situation was, it says time to move on in the Death card. Your angel's just reminding you, hey, don't be selfish and hang on to this. Don't hang on to it. You don't need to. It's not serving you anymore, so sweep it out the door and shut the door, like we talked about. And like we need to get rid of it. And let's see. Yeah, no, it wasn't that one. Was it that one? Yeah, clearing away the Queen of Air. So, and I forgot to say this, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to screw myself up. The Queen of Air was also upside down, so for some of you, you know, after that situation ended, you may not be feeling very independent. You may be feeling codependent if you just came out of a codependent relationship, or if you're in one you need to get out of it. Codependency, you can better it too. I'm like, you want to just learn not to be codependent. You've got to do the work on yourself to be independent of each other. Don't rely on one person for your entire happiness, because it's not going to work out in your favor if you do. But if you're feeling like you don't feel very you feel dependent on somebody or something to get the job done or to make a decision, maybe that's why you feel procrastination, because you're waiting on someone else to tell you what they think. Like, you just got to make a decision. Don't wait on anybody else. Make the decision, because if you don't, they won't. If you're waiting on somebody who also procrastinates, you'll be waiting forever. And for some of you, this was turned upside down. So if I want to reverse it, you're not being realistic, then some of you are also being the Seven of Water. You got your head in the clouds. You're daydreaming instead of being objective in your thinking. You're not wanting to be very realistic right now. You feel inexperienced maybe with the job thing, but you're going to do fine with it. It's all about stepping up. But when the Queen of Air was reversed, that's kind of what we were going with, and it was upside down. These two came upside down, so I know that I want to speak to the reversals that I'm getting from it. And that, you know, if it's about clearing away that no longer serves you, there could be some people or places, things, there's something coming in that is going to serve you. And she's manifesting what is going to serve her. So keep manifesting what's going to serve you. You may end up getting help in unlikely places. When I turn it upside down, like, sometimes you guys, there's some of you that are too independent. And you think, well, I can do this all on my own. I don't need any help. I don't need anybody's help, you know, I'm a one-man show or, you know, whatever. But no, the truth is you're going to need help, whether it's a work situation or if you're in a relationship. It's two people. Don't just make all the decisions for yourself unless you are alone and single and you are in control of your life. You can make a decision if you're waiting on someone. But what I'm saying is, if there is someone there, it's fine to consider them, but make them step up. If they need to make a decision with someone, like in a relationship or a business partnership, have them step up. Discuss it and tell them, like, hey, this can't wait. I'm making a decision with or without you. If you don't do this, you know, you've got to push them a little bit, you know, and you can do this in a tactful way, of course, but and some of you aren't seeing the humor in the situation. Some of you are kind of feeling downtrodden about whatever ended here. And some of you are just straight up like, you know, this isn't funny. I don't like that I'm seeing all these weird things, like spiritual transformation wise. It's going to be okay. So you don't have to worry about it. Like, it might be a bit much for you and you're feeling overwhelmed. Don't worry about it. Like, it's just, you can ask the angels to help. Like, let's slow it down. Ask your guides too. Like, hey, I can see I'm doing this spiritual transformation. Can you slow it down? I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. You know, I asked this. I said, I don't want to be overwhelmed too much when I open my third eye, because I started to see a lot. I was seeing and hearing a ton of stuff, and I'm like, whoa. And so I had actually said out loud, like, hey, don't overwhelm me with this. My guides and angels, like let's go slow and prepare me, because I don't want to be afraid. And you know what? They've done that for me, and I'm not afraid. And I'm really embracing it. And so I'm like, okay, we can open it for now. And I'm like, this is terrific. And I actually got a message that my guide was slowly opening my third eye. She was working with me to open it little by little without overwhelming me. And I was like, that's great confirmation. I love it. I love it. And so, okay, next up, we can go back to the Four of Earth. So, yes, good business decisions. So yeah, there's business decisions that need to be made. If you do have a business partner, step it up. Make sure you're clearly communicating what you need to communicate. Make the decisions that need to be made. One way or the other, you got to step up and take charge. And yeah, this one says you can be too frivolous. My Four of Earth, to me, it's kind of like holding back or holding on to something. And so some of you could be holding on to a situation that doesn't serve you and need to let it go. For others, you could be holding back from making that decision, or from thinking about things, or you may be holding back on allowing yourself to embrace your spiritual transformation if you're starting to pick up a lot of psychic abilities. Like, hey, don't hold back, because those psychic abilities are still coming. You can't really hold back onto those, but learn to embrace it and just learn to have control over it. Don't let fear run you. You control your life. You can ask your guides and angels for help at any time. Just speak up, speak out, pray on it, you visualize on it, manifest it. Just say, hey, guides and angels, I need your help. I want to do things this way. So tell them how you want to do things, and tell them, like, hey, don't let anything happen while I'm asleep, or like, I prefer to get my messages this way. If you don't want to have a lot of dreams, like, you can change that. If you're meant to have these things happen, they're going to still happen, because there's a message in it for you somewhere. So that's why it's so important, and your angels want you to know, like, hey, you can talk to us. We're willing to compromise with you, but if you need to know something, we're going to tell you. And so pay attention to the signs and the synchronicities that you're getting, and the messages and the dreams. Pay attention to it, because you're going to get something out of it. Keep a journal of all the weird things that happen, and then go back and look and see if there's a pattern, see if there's a message in there for you. It's the best advice I can give. With that being said, let's see. There's some oracle cards with your angels, things they want you to know. I got the Sovereign. I love it. I love it. It reminds me of the Queen over here. It's a crown. And it's a crown that has crystals, and it has like that crescent moon on it. It makes me think about being one of the court cards, like being the queen or the king or an emperor or empress. You're supposed to maintain that objective decision making, and it's time to clear away things that don't serve you anymore. That's just a reminder. The Sovereign is just reminding you, put on that crown, and you are in control of your life. You are the authority of your life. So it's up to you. If someone or something is just not good for you, shut the door on it and move on. Like, it's okay. And it's okay to feel things. Go ahead and release and process those emotions that you have over it, and then let it go. Release it. But you're in control, so you do what's best for you. Okay, Blooming Cat Oracle. Number 32, which reduces to 5, which we have a 5 over here too. So now you have 2 5s if you want to think of it that way. It says, explore, add adventure to your life. Okay, this is great. I think this is part of, like, moving on. Life is one big adventure. I don't know if you guys remember this, but you ever remember, like, Robin Williams being in that movie Hook? And at the very end, Wendy's like, oh, your adventures are over, Peter Pan. And he's like, oh no. He's like, life is like the next big adventure. He says something to that effect. And I'm not exact, but he's right. I mean, that's a beautiful line to say, and it's true. Just because something ends, that when one thing ends, something new begins, and There's new decisions to make. There's new things that you can manifest into your life. All these new things happening are going to lead to better things. So explore it. Explore these psychic abilities you have. Explore whatever these new decisions you make. Like whether you're working with a business partner, or you're working on a work project, or you're working in a new relationship, or to strengthen an old relationship. Go ahead and move forward with it. Explore it. Make it work. I ended up with two of the Moonology cards. One says Full Moon in Virgo, and it says, you are good enough. I love it. You are good enough, and you are. You are good enough. So whoever was thinking that they are feeling codependent and inexperienced, and you're not feeling that great with, if you're a part of the reversal in that card, some of you might be feeling down, or if you're feeling conflicted and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with these abilities, like you're feeling a certain way. You are good enough. There's a reason that you are chosen. Okay. They might be giving you a soul mission, or they may be just saying, here's a new lesson, and we're waking you up because you have a purpose to do with your psychic abilities, your spiritual purpose. The other card was North Node, and it says, step out of your comfort zone. I love it. Yep, that's what you're doing. We're having you step out of your comfort zone, especially with what I said, talking about that job situation or making that decisions. You're comfortable, but you need to make a decision, and that means changes, and changes means step out of your comfort zone. So just do it. Like, we're going to do that, and you're not comfortable with all of these the spiritual abilities that are coming about, but step out of the comfort zone, go find a community of people on Facebook or Meetup or wherever, at Discord, and like go talk to them. Yeah. Go meet new people and find your tribe, and you'll start learning a lot. And I don't think you're going to feel too out of your comfort zone. You'll get comfortable after a while. I promise you it will be well worth your time. Okay, angel cards. I got a lot. So from the Saints and Angels, we got pause. Yes. This goes with the reversal of the Seven of Cups. If instead of procrastinating, some of you were rushing into decisions or relationships or something, like you were being a little impulsive. This is telling you to slow down. Take a pause, smell the flowers, or smell the roses, whatever the term is. But it was saying that you need to, take a pause and just think about things. Like she's taking a pause to look and to manifest and to make a decision on things. So just make sure that you think about things and do your research first, and before you decide anything big for yourself. And then we have the other angel cards. I can't remember which ones these are. Where did they go? I don't think I see it here, but somewhere it's out here. But these are archangel cards. There we go. Sorry. It says gentleness. Archangel Sandalphon, be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So, for those of you that are like making decisions and you're out of your comfort zone and you don't know what to do, yeah, be gentle with yourself. I mean, it's clear cut. You just need to take it easy, maybe rest a little bit. I know with the spiritual awakening, it can make you very, very tired. I'm exhausted. So, I sleep a lot after doing readings and things like that because it is very exhausting. So I would say, just be gentle with yourself and just keep putting love and kindness out. And this one, I love this one. This is the Angel Guide Oracle. Sacred Plan. I love it. With the Sacred Plan, I feel that goes along with like your spiritual transformation, and those of you that may be going through an awakening right now, this is part of the plan. They're waking you up, and you see this beautiful light coming across her, and she's got one hand over a solar plexus, and you've got one hand, over the heart. She's got one across her eyes, which really makes me think of the psychic sight, the third eye. And then it's going across her head, which is, the crown is up here, the knowing, the claircognizance. And so you're being woken up, your intuition is waking up throughout your body, and you are going to start seeing and hearing and knowing things and feeling things, and It's part of the sacred plan, and your angels want you to know that it's completely normal. If you need to take a pause and take a rest while you're going through this process, do so. Don't feel bad about needing the extra rest, the extra sleep, whatever it is that you need to get. Be gentle on yourself. Don't be too harsh, feeling like you're lazy or like you should be doing something or you should be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. No, this is very taxing on you because they're helping you grow spiritually, but it does make you tired. It does make you very fatigued spiritually. So it's part of the plan, and they don't want you to worry. They said it's part of the plan. They've got you. You are divinely protected. You're okay. They will be there every step of the way to help you and to guide you. Your last card is the Secret Language of Color card, and I love this. I pulled this card, and it is rainbow. I love it. It's number 1. I love number 1. Okay, number 1 is like the magician. If I want to think, relate it to tarot, magician has all the tools to get everything done. He's got all the psychic abilities. The magician is also a manifester. They can manifest whatever they want. But rainbow is what you got. You got all the colors. Congrats. But it says connect to spirit in nature. And so this is a message. Your angels want you to know that you need to get outside. If you notice a lot of these pictures and stuff that are in here, like she's outside, like sitting on logs, and there's trees. There's trees and mountains and things around, and this is grass and forest and all kinds of stuff. So connecting to spirit in nature, this is one of the best things you can do is go out and take a walk. Take a walk or go to a park, go someplace where you can hike. I don't know, a nature preserve or something of that. Something like that. I don't know. Even if you just take a walk in your neighborhood. But if you find a park, I think a park would be better. Stay away from cars and people. Someplace where you can really appreciate nature. You can actually tune into it. And, you know, you can smell the rain in the air, or you see the leaves falling and changing colors. I love this time of year for that reason. It's finally like in the 70s outside, and it's been rainy, and I love it. It's finally cooled down here. We're not in the hundreds anymore, and I'm so appreciative of that. I love it. Absolutely love this. And this card is so beautiful. But nature is the way to go. And I notice when I'm out in nature, I get a lot of energy flowing to me, and I tend to start having a lot of ideas and thoughts and creativity, but it can also help you think about the things that you're thinking and feeling. It's a good time to just start processing those when you go out in nature and walk and look around, and you start to feel, you know, better about things. And it can help you make a decision. It can help you deal with it, and it's a better way of kind of absorbing all these changes that are happening in your life. So I really think that that's some great advice from your angels. So your angels hope that you enjoyed this advice. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I hope that it ends up being very, very helpful for you. Until next time, guys. Bye.